Happy Friday, Epiphany. I hope you're doing well this week. It's been a busy week around here with a lot of stuff going on. One of the things that we're paying a lot of attention to right now is our May 23rd, 9 a.m. regathering. We're going to be gathering outside in person to worship on Pentecost Sunday, which is an exciting thing. I thought for this week's video, I'd share just some frequently asked questions that I've heard from different folks over the last several weeks. The first is just a question that I've gotten, not directly, but kind of indirectly. It's to ask what guidance the church is using for regathering. And just to answer that, we're going to continue to follow the guidance of the Centers for Disease Control, North Carolina DHHS, and the North Carolina Synod when it comes to regathering guidelines. And the reason that we're doing this is because we want to be faithful Christians in this period of time. I know that it's been hard for all of us to be away, and we've had to make some hard choices during the pandemic. But we trust the science, we trust public health experts, and we trust their advice. I have been asked by several folks, will I have to wear a mask? And the answer to that is that as of this recording, the answer is yes. And the reason for that is that the guidance from the CDC is that masks should be worn, whether you're outdoors or indoors, by anyone over the age of 2 when there are large gatherings with multiple households. Will I need to bring my own lawn chair? The answer to that one is also yes. Please bring your own lawn chair or camping chair if you have one to worship. Will there be singing in communion? And the answer to that one is a firm yes. I am so excited for us to be singing together as the body of Christ and to receive the body and blood of Christ as a community. People have been asking me, will I need to sign up ahead of time? And if so, how will I do that? Well, because attendance will be limited and for potential contact tracing purposes, signups for all worship services are going to have to be required. Here's how it's going to work. Each Sunday night at 7 o'clock, there will be a sign-up link for the following week's worship emailed to the congregation. Each sign-up link is going to be a unique week or a unique link, so you can only sign up for 1 week at a time. Now, if you don't have internet access, say you know someone in the congregation that doesn't have internet access, here's how we've decided to do this. Those without internet access can call into the church starting Sunday night at 7 o'clock as well too. They'll be able to sign up, and to do that, they can leave a voicemail in Mickey's voicemail box. 2 important caveats that I want to lift up in all of this. The first is that while signups are required, we also want to just say that signups are going to end Thursday at noon. That will give us enough time to prepare for worship. And the other one is that you can only sign up for 1 week at a time. We're doing this because we know that there's going to be probably some Sundays where we're pretty close or at capacity, and we want to make sure that everyone has a fair opportunity to come to worship. How long will the service be? That's another question that I've been asked. It's hot outside. Well, we realize that, and while we're outside, the worship service is going to be an abbreviated worship service, and it's going to last no longer than 45 minutes. I would invite you to wear comfortable clothing if you're coming to church that day, to maybe consider having a hat on. Gentlemen, I know that that's kind of an odd thing to say, to wear a hat to church, but since we're outside and in our parking lot, I think we might have to make an exception to the general etiquette. Also, consider bringing some water with you, like a Nalgene bottle of water or something like that with you. I've also gotten asked, what happens if it rains? Well, obviously we can't control the weather. And so what we're going to do is we're going to monitor the Sunday morning weather as close as possible. And just like when it snows during those winter months and we have to figure out whether or not we're going to have worship on Sunday morning, we're going to make a decision about having outdoor worship by 7 o'clock Sunday night. If we are not going to have worship the next day, what we'll do is we'll send out an email, a text message, and we're working on the phone tree system as well too, and get all of that communicated out as clearly as possible and in as many ways as possible. Now, if we're not going to gather outside on Sunday, we'll have a live stream broadcast from inside the sanctuary with some limited worship leaders like Vicar Jennifer, Patrick, myself, maybe a lector, and maybe a couple of choir singers. But it won't be a large group by any stretch of the imagination. What about drive-through communion? That's been another question that I've been asked. Starting the first Sunday in June, Vicar Jennifer or I will continue to offer drive-through communion on the first and third Sundays of the month. We're going to shift the time from 10:15 to 10:45. What about coffee hour? Well, throughout the pandemic, we've had this wonderful group of about 20 to 25 people that have been regularly participating in Zoom coffee hour every Sunday morning at 9 o'clock. You are certainly welcome to join and to be a part of that. That's a fun group and just a great conversation. But starting on May 23rd, coffee hour is going to be renamed the Brunch Bunch. And we're going to move that meeting time from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. We're still going to meet by Zoom, though. What about restrooms? Well, restrooms are going to be available during the worship service. We heard you talk about that and offer that feedback. I really appreciate that. So we're going to offer restrooms during the worship service. But to be clear, that's limited to one household at a time going in and out of the building. Here's another question that I've gotten. If I don't feel comfortable coming, or if I can't come, can I still watch online? And the answer to that is an absolute yes. One of the things that we wanted to work on in our strategic plan was to begin to live stream our worship services. We had to start doing that a little bit sooner than we had thought because none of us saw the pandemic coming. But thankfully, we're going to be able to continue to live stream our worship services and to share that with people, not just here in Winston-Salem, but really in all sorts of places. We've had folks in all sorts of different places watching us. So what that means is that each Sunday morning at 9 o'clock, we'll have our church services live streamed on Facebook and YouTube. You can watch them then at 9 o'clock, or if you want to, you can watch them at your convenience. I'm going to stop there with our frequently asked questions, but if you have other questions, give me a call up here at the church or shoot me an email, or you can text me on my cell phone, 803-465-1371. I'll be happy to answer those. Thanks, Epiphany, and I hope that you have a great weekend.